What's up, you guys? What's up? What's up? What is up, you guys? Happy Wednesday to you guys. I almost said Tuesday. Happy Wednesday to you guys. It is a warm summer day here in Mississippi, but it's a little bit of a breeze. As you guys can see, I am at one of my favorite places ever. It's the place where I know I can always connect with God at. It's a peaceful place. It was exactly what I needed today. I haven't been here in a while, not since Bella. And the declaration today is don't reject the new thing. I'm going to say it again. The declaration today is don't reject the new thing. Don't reject the new thing that God is doing, in your life. The new things that God is bringing into your life. The new things that God is bringing back around in your life. Don't reject the new thing. And I know that this sounds like a very cliche thing to say because we hear it all the time, about, God is doing a new thing. Do your eyes not perceive it? But, there gets to a point where we all have to sit and wonder, why does God, why does the Bible tell us that, do our eyes not perceive it? And it's simply because a lot of times, especially when you're coming from a season of going without whatever it is, especially when you're coming out of a struggle season, especially when you face so many disappointments in life, so many heartbreaks, so many frustrations, it becomes truly easy to get into a mindset where we reject the very thing that we've prayed for. I'm going to say it again. There comes a point, right, in everybody's life where we all have our processes that are filled with frustrating moments, disappointments, moments where we throw in the towel and we are just like, I am over it, right? And so a lot of times when God does do the thing that we've been waiting for, the thing that has seemed to have eluded us for such a long time, it becomes a very easy thing to not notice or to not recognize that God, the thing that you've been praying for, the thing that you've been fasting for, it becomes very, very easy to get into that mindset of just totally not recognizing it. Why? Because let's be real, we get used to the struggle. Disappointments become our new normal. Frustrations with things make us oftentimes not want to receive it, makes us not want to continue to go. Many people, I know myself, sometimes the process seems more like a cycle than God moving in your life. I'm going to say that again. Sometimes the process seems more like a cycle than it does God preparing you for what you asked for. Why do I say this? Because a lot of times in the process, we go through the same patterns over and over and over again. It's almost like he has certain things on repeat in our lives, whether it's in the area of health, whether it is relational, whatever the case may be. So this morning, as I've just been spending time with God, that phrase has just been coming up over and over and over again in my heart. Do not reject the new thing. There was a moment today where I was praying about a situation that, I'm going to be real, I have been rejecting it. I've been comparing it to past failures in the past. I've just been in a place of just not being receptive and God, give me a confirmation, right? And then God gives you a confirmation and you Lord, give me a confirmation. And God hits you with, I already gave you one. But a lot of times, what it is why we reject the confirmations of God is because we already have our mind made up when we ask that question, give me a sign, give me confirmation. We already have our mind made up as to how we want him to confirm a certain thing. And God is not, to be bossed around. Let's just say that. And so this morning, I felt a weight on me and I said, I got to come out and I just need to talk to God about this thing because, about to be bamboozled again. And if I can avoid being bamboozled, God, let me avoid being bamboozled. Let me avoid any heartache and pain. Let me avoid anything that could potentially hurt me worse than I feel that I've already been hurt in life, right? And so as I was getting out here, the Lord straight up told me, you're rejecting what I'm doing for you. He straight up told me, You're rejecting it because you're holding on to how things have flowed in the past. You're holding on to the cycles of your process. And so I believe that for me, like for the tail end of this year, we're in that season where God is saying, I know I didn't do it back then. I know I didn't do it a month ago when you wanted me to. I know I didn't do it the last time you pursued it, or the last few times you pursued. I know I didn't heal you the first time you said that you just knew I was going to do it. I know I didn't do it when you wanted me to do it. But many of us are going to find ourselves in that season where God is saying, boom, now that it is my timing, now I can do certain things. Blessings to you, Pastor Ron. I'm going to say that again. Many of us are in that season where we've gone unnoticed, where we felt like we have gone unheard, unseen by God, where we have felt like straight up our needs have not gotten met, our prayers have not been heard. And so many of us have grown accustomed to living life without the promises of God. You need this word, Pastor Ron. Many of us have, we've married the frustration of the process. We've married and become in covenant with the disappointments, the setbacks, the internal battles that we fight, the depression, the anxiety, that dark place. We have married that place. And so it's like, because we've married that place, it becomes almost impossible to receive the new beginning. But again, on this morning, as I was just praying about and I'm battling my own fears, I'm aware of my fears, I'm aware of my concerns, and I mean, talk about double-minded. I'm like, God, give me a sign, give me confirmation, give me confirmation, give me confirmation, until God tells me, I already gave you that confirmation. Yeah, I just didn't give it to you the way that you wanted me to give it to you. And God straight up told me, you're rejecting what I'm trying to do for you. And he put it to me in those terms. You allowed your normal to become being frustrated in certain areas, being disappointed, going unheard, going unnoticed. But in this season, God is saying that there are many slept on promises. And what I mean by slept on promises are promises that we've given up on, things that we just kind of you chunk the deuces up to them because you feel like they are never going to happen because, well, they ain't happened yet. You've been waiting a year. You've been working on that vision, that business, that ministry goal for so long, and nothing has happened, that you kind of just feel like it is what it is. I'm going to just keep doing what I've been doing. But in this season, this final leg, final second half of 2000, the Lord said, tell my children the promises are coming to pass. I'll say that again. The Lord told me this morning, he said, tell my children the promises are coming to pass. And the promises aren't just coming to pass in any type of way. The promises are coming to pass unexpectedly. Meaning you ain't even going to be paying attention. You ain't even going to be looking forward. And it's just going to come at a time that honestly, for many people, whenever we embrace something new, especially after have waited for so long, it makes you think, am I good enough? Am I qualified enough? It's just like if you're believing God for to be married, a wife or a husband, and God finally brings, your person, your kingdom spouse into your life. Think about it. If you've been single and you've had so many poor experiences relationally, when God does bring someone, yeah, you may have healed, but it is normal to think, am I even ready for this? Because I'm going to be real. Sometimes the new thing overwhelms you. God says, I need to say that again. Sometimes the new, as I was sitting out here, and this was God just showing me, right? Reasons why we reject it. Sometimes we reject the new thing that God is doing in our life. Sometimes we simply just don't because we're married. We're married to the disappointments of the old season, the old way of life. Sometimes we reject the new thing, right? Because it overwhelms us. We feel like, this is happening too soon. Because when God does move, he does it in a big way. And oftentimes when it is time, God moves rapidly. He does not waste time answering those prayers when it's his timing. He doesn't waste time, blessing you. He doesn't waste time prospering you, elevating you, bringing you into a place where you have the platform that you've always. He does not waste time. And so a lot of times those blessings give us that Amos 9 and 13 type of feeling where it's coming in so fast that our head is swimming. And so a lot of times when we get overwhelmed about the timing of God and how soon it happens, because let's be real, he is a God of suddenly. It suddenly happens out of nowhere. And it suddenly happens in an unexpected way. And it suddenly begins to spring forth faster than you feel that you're ready for. So our first response is, let me say, I don't want this. This was me. I don't want that, God. I don't want that. I don't want that. You ever told God you don't want something that like you prayed for, you really want? You ever prayed for expansion and then God give you expansion and then you like, God, I don't want this. You ever prayed for a significant other and God gives you one, and then because it's exposing your fears, things that you need to work on, you be like, I don't want that. I don't want them, God. I don't want to be married. And then here's the thing. When we get into a mindset of feeling like I don't want it because I'm overwhelmed, unconsciously what we begin to do is self-sabotage. We push it away, which equals we're rejecting it. I'm talking to somebody. Yeah, I'm going to say it again because somebody needs to hear it. A lot of times when we get overwhelmed, our first response is, I don't want it. Get it away from me. And so because we feel like we don't want, what happens a lot of times is we self-sabotage. We self-sabotage the growth. We self-sabotage the blessings that thing brings to our life, the value that it adds to our life. We self-sabotage. And in a lot of cases, what'll happen is God will let you make your mistakes, but he doesn't remove the blessing. He doesn't remove the thing that he's bringing into your life. Why? Because he knows that we need it. He knows that deep down is something that we've desired for such a long time. But the Lord says to tell those of you guys that are catching this word, be mindful of the things that are coming to you in this second half of the year. Be mindful that you're not condemning something that's really from God, that's really being sent from God. Be careful that you're not self-sabotaging something that God meant to be a blessing, not a lesson to your life. Be careful that you're not rejecting the very miracle that you've been praying for, fasting for, sowing for. Be careful, because in this season, God says the promises are coming to pass. And for a lot of people, these are things that we have gone without for years. He says, I need to say that again. For many people, these promises that are coming to pass in this second half of the year, they are things that many of us have been standing for years. And because of the fact that we've been standing for years, the Lord says our first response be to reject it. It's going to be to rebel against progress being made in whatever area it is. Promises are coming to pass in this season. Many of us have had a rough 2022. Let's be real. We can be transparent. We can be transparent. Many of us have had a rough 2022 where we've had to deal with some unexpected blows. We've had to, deal with some things, some dark things, dark emotions within ourselves. We've had to deal with setbacks. And many of us began to just kind of feel like, Lord, is 2022 going to be that year that like takes me out? Is it going to wipe me out? Am I even going to make it until the end of this year? But the Lord says not to condemn the latter part of this year because of what it started like. Say it again. He says, be sure not to condemn the final half of this year because of how the first part of the year has been to you. For many people, you're going to know this season, this last half of 2022 as the year where God flexes on you. And by flexing, I mean that God was with you all along. You're going to know at the end of this year that God was listening to you all along, all those years. You're going to know by the end of this year, right? That it wasn't meant, the storms were not meant to destroy you. They were only meant to propel you forward. And the thing about it is, you won't get it until you're living in the manifestation of what God has promised you. There were some things in my wilderness that I just couldn't get because I was in the eye of the storm. I didn't have the capacity to even understand why God would want me to go through some of the things that I had to go through in my life. I didn't have the capacity to understand. But it wasn't until I entered into another season that I finally understood that the season I had just come out of, it wasn't meant to destroy me, even though it felt that way. But it was for a reason. It was always and will always be connected to our destinies in life. The Lord says to tell you again, do not reject the new thing. And here's the thing. A way that we get to a point of not rejecting the new thing is praying, becoming self-aware. See, I was having a rough day. I understood yesterday what I was feeling, what I was doing, why I was feeling the way that I was so self-aware of it. And because I was self-aware of how I was acting, what fears were coming out to play, exactly what my fears were, I was able to go to God in prayer and say, Lord, I know you didn't give me fear. I know there's nothing to be afraid of, but why do I feel afraid of the very thing that I've asked you to do in my life? I pray that I'm making sense. I had to straight up and that was where the revelation came from, because I got fed up. I'm like, Lord, I'm trying not to feel this way, but I still feel this way. I'm trying to receive your confirmations, but I'm just not able to right now. Be honest with God. Keep it real. And he'll show you the why. He'll give you a deeper understanding of what it is that you're dealing with and how you can move in a way that is receptive to whatever the thing is that God is bringing and doing in your life. I pray that I'm making sense. God is doing a new thing. Do your eyes not perceive it? Because if you're not receptive, here's the thing. Hey, Jocelyn, you're going to miss it. You're going to ruin it. You're going to block the very thing that God sent to elevate you, to prosper you, to favor you, and to keep you in line with his will for your life. That's the broadcast, y'all. God is doing a new thing. This last half of this year, it's going to be something spectacular with the things that God does in our lives. So that is it, man. If you're just now tuning in, and I hadn't forgot about you, Jocelyn. If you're just now tuning in, please watch this broadcast from the very beginning. If you are not already liked this video, can I just get you to just hit that like button? Pastor Run, do not worry. And I don't know why I'm here to tell you this, Pastor Ron, don't be frustrated. I don't know what that means to you. I hear do not worry and do not be frustrated. And so that's it, man. To those of you guys that feel led to sow, you can sow one or two ways. You can sow via PayPal. You can sow via the CashApp. The seed title is Receive the New Thing. That is the seed title, Receive the New Thing. Or you can even make it a sentence, I'm receiving the new thing. And so I don't have a seed amount. You sow whatever you feel led to sow. Mrs. Welker, I hear the number 17. 717 is the number that I hear to give you. I don't know why I hear that specific number, but I hear the number 717. 7 plus 1 equals 8. Of course, that represents new beginnings. 7 is the number of completion. And so you pray about that, but that is the number that I hear, $7.17. And so listen, I love y'all, man. I'm rooting for you. If you need prayer for anything, if you got a testimony, if you want to book a coaching session, you guys can view all the details in the description of every single video that I do on here. But I love y'all. I'm rooting for you. So until next time, y'all, peace.